As fellow Tigers and Americans, what do you two hope to accomplish when you get in that pool?
Just to represent our country well, and obviously Pacific.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about playing for the national team is just being able to represent your country at the highest level. Very, very few people get to do this at all, so I think it's pretty awesome. And just to represent our home school of UOP and our country is a great thing. And win. Winning is always important.
Yeah.
How has UOP water polo opened up doors for you to play internationally at the FINA World Cup and others?
Coming through Pacific, there's been a lot of great players before me, like Bala Sherdley and Goran Tomasevic, and obviously Obi here. But I learned a lot from those guys, and they really helped me to develop and get better.
Yeah, for me, obviously, before UOP, I wasn't in the national team pipeline at all. I got cut from the Central California zone and wasn't in the national team thought process. And then after 2 years at UOP, I made my first national team, and I've now been on the national team for 5 years, and this is my second FINA World Cup, so I'm really excited, especially now that there's another UOP Tiger here with me.
Being former players for Pacific Water Polo, what excites you about the program's rise from when you first came in to what it is now?
Well, when I first came in, we were really good, went to the national championship game, but the program has kept that level of consistency, of excellence. Maybe we can touch on that question a little more.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is back when I first got there, we were kind of good every other year. We had to redshirt some players to kind of stack the team, but now UOP is more consistent. They're fighting for a national championship every year, which I think really shows how far the program's come. When I first got there, we thought we were really good, but we pretty much lost every game by 1 goal. And now it seems like we're winning those games. So I really think the program's grown a lot in the last 6 years or so.
Success comes from a little hard work and the people around you who are willing to push you. How has Coach James and his coaching staff helped you to be successful in and out of the pool?
Well, I think for me personally, James took a risk on me coming out of high school. No one else really recruited me besides him, and for some reason he saw something in me, and I owe a lot to him. With the coaching staff, pretty interesting for me. I started out playing with Joey Gullickson my first summer, so we started out as teammates, and then I ended my career as him as my assistant coach. So just having that close relationship with him, I learned a lot from him early on as a teammate and then as an assistant coach. But James really stressed doing the little things right, and I think that was something I took to heart and has helped me to my national career.
Well, all the coaches I've had at Pacific have really just worked so hard, starting with James. He works his butt off every day in, day out. Some crazy hours that I don't think anybody else in the country does, but anyway, that he kind of leads by example in that, and all his players kind of follow suit.
What made it so special about playing at Chris Kelson Pool? Why was it such a good atmosphere to be in? Talk about a moment that made you realize UOP water polo was the right place for you.
If I could think back to a game or a moment at Chris Kelton, it'd be when we beat USC in my freshman year. Maybe had like 2,500 people just packing the stands. That was a really awesome moment, and showed me what it was like to be a Tiger.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things about UOP and the whole Stockton area was it started kind of back in 2013. Because we don't really have a football team or anything like that, the city of Stockton really got behind us, and it was pretty cool to see a lot of just random people that had no idea what water polo was, just to come out and just be a part of something like that. And it kind of started in 2013, like Ben said, but every year we've kind of had some big games. Everyone loves watching USC lose. Luckily, I beat them twice at home, which was awesome. And I think both of those were pretty awesome.
In light of UOP's recent NC2A championship runs, do you feel that UOP water polo has made its case that it could compete with the nation's best?
James has done an amazing job. Obviously, when I first started looking at UOP, probably my junior year, so that was about 10 years ago, they were number 16 in the nation, and that's when James took over. And from in that time, he's now taken them to a top 5 ranking pretty much consistently every year. And I think we've been to NC2As twice in the last 5 years. So obviously I think it shows that UOP is now consistently fighting for the top spot. And it just shows by both of us having 2 players now on the national team that James is really finding talent and getting it to come to Stockton, and then also developing that talent, which I think is a huge thing, especially at UOP.
What message do you have for our water polo players, current and future, that have to be in your shoes one day?
I think the biggest thing is just putting in the work. Obviously, when me and Ben both got there, we weren't the biggest national team scorers. We weren't the biggest recruits, but we worked our butts off the entire 4 years, or for me, 5 years that we were there. And I think for future UOP stars, I think just the hard work you have to put in every day to be able to compete with those top 4 schools is a key.